here we got a story of some parents that are setting themselves up to have one of their children rightly resent them in the future. Will my son resent me for sending him to a state school and paying for his sister's posh prep? Yes, I think so. It may also depend on the type of school, because a lot of times these private schools ain't much better than the public schools anyway. It depends on the attitude of your son, I guess. If you're very lucky, maybe he doesn't want to work hard at a prep school. Maybe he just wants to coast through school on easy mode, in which case state school is just fine. But if this ends up disadvantaging him in the future, he probably will resent you, yeah. All right, Freddie, Ruby, and James would like to invite you to their Charlie and the Chocolate Factory themed birthday party. The invitation reads RSVP essential. We hope Jessica can make it. They change names, yeah. Ruby will be heartbroken if she can't. The glamorous blonde with the was it fur gilet purrs climbing into her Land Rover and blowing me a kiss goodbye. I expect most parents at my daughter's new prep school won't be worrying about the cost of birthday presents, but I know that my standard $10 Amazon or £10 Amazon gift card isn't going to cut it this time. It's a far cry from the last birthday party my teenage son Sam went to at a nearby Nando's. His friend Alex is the son of a single mother who was working 2 jobs. She insisted on no presents. You see, our 13-year-old son goes to a state grammar school while our 10-year-old daughter started at a posh prep school last year. Why? Well, it's obvious you're playing favorites. We couldn't afford to send both of them. This family has absolutely no sense of prioritization, I guess would be the term. Well, we got to send one of them to the fancy school. Well, I know. Let's send the one that's likely just going to get knocked up and marry someone and then end up not in a position anyway. Oh, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. It is a real sacrifice to send Jessica to a fee-paying school, but one we have decided is worth making. Even if it does mean forgoing holidays in a new car, I'm aware it will give our daughter advantages over our son. But we simply cannot afford the £37,000 it would cost each year to send both to private. The reality is, see, here we go. I told you they can't prioritize. The reality is, Sam is brighter. So let's give the dumber one special treatment. That will be the best use of our resources. While he made it through primary school relatively unscathed, Jessica, who's less outgoing, sporty, and academically able than her brother, got lost in a class of 33 kids of mixed abilities. The school, which was clearly massively overstretched and under-resourced, was not in a position to help her. That's where you as the parent come in, by the way. I went to public schools my whole life. My parents made up the difference. Whatever those useless public schools didn't teach us, my parents were sure to do it. That's what you need to do. You need to actually be a parent for your kids. And then there was the awful food, nuggets and chips most days, undesirable friendships, and the fact that she was on the waiting list for the only club she wanted to be in, drama, for almost a year. Her new school is just 14 children in the class, and she was given the starring role in the production of Matilda. Her confidence has come on leaps and bounds, and not to mention her reading and arithmetic. In an ideal world, we would send both our children to private school, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel terrible about the disparity at times. Oh, you'll feel terrible later on too, because your son's going to remember this. So in a few years, when you're expecting your son to take care of you in your old age, and also your daughter who has like 3 kids with 3 different dudes and is now a single mother, and you expect him to work to take care of you, that may not happen. Yeah, he may have some second thoughts about doing that. And we may have to rethink things if Keir Starmer gets in and hikes the fees by 20% because we can no longer afford to send Jessica. So we're praying that doesn't happen because there's no denying that our daughter's school is streets ahead of her brother's. The extracurricular activities they offer are mind-blowing: hockey, horse riding, forest school, and fencing. The only optional extras at our son's school is a Warhammer club. That sounds a lot better. So a group of teenagers stuffing themselves with chocolate and ignoring each other while they build models is not exactly character building. Okay, You do realize that they're building those models so they can play a game with them, right? You think when they're playing games of Warhammer with each other, they're not they're ignoring each other all day. They're not interacting. What is wrong with you? Like, man, this women's just sounds dumb all around. So our son has PE once a week while our daughter swims at the pool on a Monday, plays hockey or football on Tuesday, and has 2 afternoons of PE and outdoor learning on Wednesday and Thursday. All things that would benefit boys more, given how differently boys and girls learn. But yeah, sure, let's send her there. Why not? So, by the way, that was great. Like my final year of high school, I took 3 PE classes. Ah, that was the best year, man. The food in the canteen is also exceptional. Think fish pie, broccoli, and homemade profiteroles. Where my son lives off of sausage rolls and Danish pastries at his school canteen. Did I mention the school trips? Our daughter will be skiing in Switzerland this year, while our son's sailing trip in a dinghy in Wales doesn't really compare. When I was in school, we didn't have school trips. When did that become the norm? Like, I know that's apparently the norm in Japan because pretty much every anime set in high school, they have a school trip. But fuck, man, I've never been on a school trip to anything more than a place in town. Like, we went to the zoo, I guess. We went ice skating once. I remember that, but it was all just yeah, we went to a water park like once or twice. But all the school trips we went on, it was all just places in town. And we went we went to a water park for the day, which was fun, by the way. I love water parks. But none of this fucking school trip to another country bullshit. or all the way across the country. Then there were the social connections our daughter is making. She has already been offered a pony on loan by one of her classmates. Oh, take it. Please take it. And then you find out how much caring for an animal really costs. Go ahead, man. Yeah, that initial upfront fee is nothing compared to what you're going to be paying. Unless you get something really easy to take care of that lives in a tank, they could be pretty cheap. So fingers crossed there will be no shortage of work experience offers when the time comes. Our son's friend, on the other hand, found himself in a spot of bother after his brother was expelled for bringing ketamine to a school disco. The children at our son's grammar school are at least bright and have parents that put the time into coaching them through the 11 plus or shell out for a private tutor. At the time, we knew we could not afford to privately indoctrinate both of our children, so we were thrilled when he passed the exam and the decision was ultimately made for us. If he'd failed, we couldn't afford to send him to private school without remortgaging the house, something neither of us wanted to do, but I'd have felt terrible if he ended up at a local comprehensive. Oh, man. I pray that hopefully the kid at least he has a similar attitude to what I did when I was in high school, because I always viewed, or actually all the way from middle school, maybe even the end of elementary school upwards, I've always viewed school as a chore. It was just an obligation. It was a chore to get out of the way so I could do fun stuff. If this kid views school the same way, I mean, maybe he is legitimately a genius. He has to put in a bare minimum amount of efforts to get straight A's. If maybe like, hopefully that's his attitude. Hopefully he just coasts through school on easy mode, and he enjoys his life. But if not, yeah, he will be resentful. All right, 3 years on, things have worked out reasonably well, although I'd have liked him to do more extracurricular activities. Maybe if you sent him to the school with the better extracurricular activities. He's not so much as set foot on a cricket patch since he became a teenager, despite our best efforts. Football is the only thing he is remotely interested in. Then let him play it. So there are things which are far from ideal. His penchant for tacky football tops, and sometimes and the fact that he sometimes pronounces it pronounces H. No one at school pronounces it H, mum. But I am, on the whole, proud of him and how he is turning out, despite all your best efforts to cripple him. I pray he doesn't come to resent his little sister or us in the years to come for for sending her to, in his words, a posh school. I hope that the skills he learns from his state grammar school, getting on with people from all walks of life, hard work, or working hard and appreciating what he has, will be his strengths. He will be the strengths he will take through his adult life. They will, but he may not take you along the ride for the ride, though. And perhaps some of the connections his sister makes might help him one day. The son of a local MP is in her class. Maybe he could help Sam get some work experience next year. I must remember to buy him a great present for his birthday next month. Has to be worth a try at least, doesn't it? All those connections would have been much more useful for him. So what she is most likely going to do is she's gonna get knocked up, maybe end up marrying one of those guys, not to end up using any of the skills they taught at the school. Yeah. Plus, in general, like this kind of gave off the vibe like they're probably going to go the college route too. So these parents they're actually setting both the kids up for failures, really. Yeah, the connections are maybe the only actual useful thing they get out of that. It's possible to turn out okay going through public school. I mean, I went through public school and look at me. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe not the best example. No one should want to be like me.